You're listening to The Gabby Gordon Show. New to the community? Head to GabbyGordonShow.com today. Sign up for the mailing list for exclusive Q&As, conversations, and special surprises. Send in sports-related voice messages, including all questions, through our website to be featured in a future episode. Once again, that's GabbyGordonShow.com. GabbyGordon show.com. Let's kick off today's episode.
What is going on, sports fans, and welcome to the Gabby Gordon Show. My name is Gabby Gordon, welcoming you in on this massive breaking news Thursday, January 11th, 2024. Today, we've learned that legendary head coach Bill Belichick is out as the Patriots coach after 24 seasons and 6 Super Bowls. Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft have announced that they have mutually agreed to part ways.
All right, morning. Seen this many cameras since we signed Tebow. Robert and I, after a series of discussions, have mutually agreed to part ways. And for me, this is a day of gratitude and celebration. Start with Robert and his family. It's great. So much thanks for the opportunity to be head coach here for 24 years. It's an amazing opportunity. Received tremendous support. We had a vision of building a winner, building a championship football team here, and that's exceeded my wildest dreams and expectations. The amount of success that we were able to achieve together, through a lot of hard work and contributions of so many people. So I'm very proud of that, and I always have those great memories. I'll carry those with me the rest of my life. And of course, after Robert, thanks to the assistant coaches. I've had so many great coaches here. They've made my job so much easier. It's a long list, but the amount of work, preparation, and diligence that they do, every one of them. And I say this about the players and the coaches, regardless of how long they were here, how many years they were here, how many years they coached, or what the position was. It was a great team effort, and everybody, put everything they had into it, and that's why we were successful. So, from the coaches, the support staff, it's an amazing staff here that supported me in every way. All the scouting and all the football support people, from equipment, training, security, video, operations, and so forth, right down the line, dining room. I mean, it's all first class. It's all extremely good. And special thanks to Bears and Nancy. They've been here since day one, and made my life a lot easier, or I've made theirs a lot harder, however you want to look at it. But that's a big shout out to them. And of course, a great deal of thanks and appreciation to the players. Players win games in the NFL, and I've been very, very fortunate to coach some of the greatest players that have ever played. Some of the greatest players that have ever played for the Patriots. Some of them are already in the Hall of Fame. Many more are going. But again, regardless of how long any of the players were or weren't here, or what their role was, or how many games they played, or even if they didn't win championships, I respect the way the players come to work here on a daily basis. All of them. I've coached, well over 1,000. But their ability to work, prepare, train, in the weight room, train their bodies, meet, rehearse over and over again, what we need to do things right to be successful, to win. It's just, I have so much respect for all the players, and certainly we've had, many that have been here for a long time and, had great contributions, and too many to name at this time, but, great thanks to the players, and to the media, for you guys. I don't know that anybody's gotten more coverage than I have, or we have, in the past 24 years. Meet with you guys a lot, respect what you do. You're a voice to the fans, and even though we don't always see eye to eye all the time, most of the time, but not all the time. I do respect what you do, and finally to the fans. The fans here are amazing. There's so many memories of the fans, the send-offs, the parades, the Sundays, whatever the situations are, the letters of support, seeing the fans, away from here, at a gas station or a grocery store, or wherever you bump into them. Patriot fans here, and not just in New England, but they extend nationally and even internationally as I've traveled. It's amazing how far the arm reaches. We saw that this year in Germany. So appreciative of the fans for all the support they've given me, my family, and this football team. And it's with just so many fond memories and thoughts that I think about the Patriots, and I'll always be a Patriot. I look forward to coming back here, but at this time, we're gonna move on, and I look forward, excited for the future, but always very, very appreciative of the opportunity here, the support here, and what you've done for me. Thank you.
So it is official. Bill Belichick has ended his extraordinary career with the Patriots. It is not over yet. He has not announced retirement, and he is not out of the NFL. But this is true history. And after that speech, we never see Bill Belichick get emotional. And he really didn't get emotional during that speech. But when he began to talk about the fans and the parades and the celebrations after 6 Super Bowls and extraordinarily 24 seasons, you could hear the guy get choked up a bit. And for Patriots fans all around the world, if you are a Patriots fan listening right now, or a Bill Belichick fan, it has been an incredible ride to watch the dynasty as we know it. Obviously, this past season was rough. It was disappointing for fans all around. It was disappointing for Belichick and for Robert Kraft, and it was probably a low note to end this extraordinary marriage between these two incredible dynasty creators on. But nonetheless, it was incredible to witness, to sit through, and to celebrate. And now we look to the future endeavors of Bill Belichick. Let's not be sad because it's over. Let's smile because it truly did happen. And the sweepstakes for 71-year-old Bill Belichick could be like nothing we've ever seen before. He is going to be the top of the targeted head coaches simply because he is the best in the business. There are 7 other teams right now that have head coach vacancies, and the Chargers, Commanders, Falcons, they are all expected to make big pushes to be home to the last act of a Hall of Fame career. The Commanders we're not so sure about. They may have announced that they are not going after Belichick, but Chargers, Falcons, certainly in the mix. Both teams with young talents that we know Bill can develop, and we know Bill can do incredible things with wherever he goes. Now, we know at the beginning of the week, I believe it was Monday, Belichick and Kraft met and did not come to a decision. And then, of course, later on this week, the decision was made. Let me remind you here that the Belichick era in New England, infamously, truly an infamous beginning. A day that lived in infamy, began in 2000 when he quit after 24 hours as head coach of the New York Jets. He succeeded longtime mentor Bill Parcells, another legend, by writing, quote, "I resign as head coach of the New York Jets," on a napkin. That was the beginning to the legendary head coaching career of the Patriots for Bill Belichick, and one that we will remember forever in the history of football itself. But of course, as we know it, the defining moment of Belichick's career happened in the week of 2001 season when franchise quarterback Drew Bledsoe was knocked out of the game by the Jets. And if that moment never happened, we may never have seen the path that Tom Brady and Bill Belichick were able to pave through the league, through a dynasty. That was history. The week of the 2001 season, and an unproven Tom Brady stepped in, played well enough over the next few weeks to keep a healthy Bledsoe on the bench, and ultimately led the Patriots to their first Super Bowl win in an upset of the Rams. And then Belichick made the bold move after that to trade Bledsoe to the rival team Bills, clearing the path for Tom Brady and Bill Belichick to become the greatest of all time in their respective jobs and the greatest dynasty that we have witnessed to date. But Bill Belichick, a lot of people say he would have been nothing without Tom Brady. And while Tom Brady was a huge part of what those two accomplished together, and Tom Brady's a freak of nature and the greatest to ever do it, no doubt about that, the hallmark of Belichick's career was his coaching abilities year to year, every single season, no matter what his roster looked like, and his ability to adapt to roster changes, to differences in strengths, to noticing weaknesses, winning with defense, winning with ground and pound type offense, winning with Tom Brady throwing bombs left and right, and his game-to-game adjustments as the games progressed to capitalize on his opponent's weaknesses. We saw it every single week. We saw dominance when it mattered most. We saw clutch coaching. We saw Bill Belichick be Bill Belichick and set the standard for coaches to come. Obviously, it has not all been sunshine and rainbows for Belichick. His record without Tom Brady is 84-103, including 36-44 during his 5-year stint when he was the Browns head coach. That was 1991 to 1995, and 29-38 with one playoff appearance since the now retired Tom Brady left for the Bucs in 2020. And of course, there's been controversies that have been shared by the two GOATs. Spygate, which was the videotaping coaches' sideline signals caught in 2007. The Deflategate, where they were allegedly deflating footballs to their advantage in 2014 in the AFC Championship game. Or Spygate 2, where they were filming signals again in 2020. But nonetheless, Bill Belichick's career is extraordinary. And I don't care what you say about the controversies. I don't care if you call this guy not good without Tom Brady. His career is still not over. And that brings excitement to it now, because now a new birth of Bill Belichick's career is coming in, whatever he decides to do with it. Whether he decides to take on the new head coaching role of the Chargers and leading Justin Herbert to greatness. Whether he decides to fix what's going on in Atlanta with the Falcons, Desmond Ridder, whatever's been going on there. There are so many opportunities for Bill Belichick that he will accomplish something. And with the talent and foundation to do so, I don't think he's stopping anytime soon. And I think this is his life. He has been deeply rooted. And this is his life. And now it is time to move on. Part ways. 24 years seems like a good number. 6 Super Bowls. Now it's time to go on to the future endeavors. And of course, as we know, NFL, college football fans, we're hurting this week. There's been a lot of coaching changes, coaching firings, and a massive retirement in Nick Saban, who we'll get to just a bit. But just a ton of information to talk about and a ton of legacies to truly point out and to truly honor. Because without these incredible forces, the game would not be what it is today. Without Belichick, without Brady, without what they have done in this league, their 6 Super Bowls, the incredible dynasty that they led together, all under Bill Belichick's rule, and Robert Kraft's rule, football would not be what it is today. So before I go any further, I just literally want to give a standing applause. If you are listening, stand up and clap and honor these incredible forces and freaks of nature in their respective fields who have made football what it is today, who have given us history to look back at, and who have given us moments where it's like, yeah, that's why I'm a football fan. And Nick Saban, Bill Belichick, Pete Carroll, all guys today who are in the news and who have been in the news for the last couple of days have done that. And we are incredibly thankful. And I think Belichick's hungry to make NFL history. He needs 15 more wins to match Don Shula's all-time wins record, regular season and playoffs, by a head coach in NFL history. He's 71, and he is still walking through. He has no plans to retire, said so. He is just going after it. Now, the Falcons, again, fired Arthur Smith after the season. That is the most likely suited place for Belichick, according to ESPN. But we know, my pen fell again, guys. He can do anything on the fly, truly can. And anywhere he goes, that place is going to be incredibly lucky to have him based on what he's done. Just the mindset and presence of Bill Belichick will get to these guys who have had rough seasons. Whether it's the Chargers, Falcons, whatever it may be, there is some serious improvements to make throughout the league that only truly Bill can probably turn around. That's not a that's not a, slash at any of the other head coaches that are looking for jobs right now, or that are just any head coaching positions or potential hirings. But Bill is the guy. He's the example to head coaches around the league. You ask any head coach who they would want to be, I almost guaranteeing it's Bill Belichick, unless they truly have a hatred for him, which a lot of people do. Oddly enough, a lot of people hate the greats because they're not great themselves, and it's a envy thing. But even just having Belichick in your locker room, in the building, I feel like would just bring out a morale for the team. Like, we want to play for this guy, and we want to play damn good for this guy. And that energy is going to travel with him no matter where he goes. That's the beautiful thing about who Belichick truly is that he brings this now greatness with him, and he's brought this greatness around him for a very long time, but it's kind of been stuck in New England for the past couple of seasons without Tom Brady, and now it's time to move that greatness on and spread the wealth, if you will, and anywhere that he goes, that team is going to be incredibly, incredibly lucky to have him. To kind of close out our discussions on Bill Belichick for the day, because look, he's not gone forever, right? He's still in this league, and we're still going to get news on him in the coming weeks on what he decides to do with his career. He is not retiring. He is simply stepping away from New England. And so there's still a ton of storylines to go with who is he going to coach next? What will his role be next? How is he going to impact the league next? What are his next moves going to be? So we'll follow all of that and more on the show as the news comes out. You will hear it right here on the Gabby Gordon Show. But to close out our discussions today on Bill Belichick, to truly honor the type of coach he was, I don't think there's any better guy to speak upon him than Tom Brady. The greatness that they have created together and the foundation for the league and history that they have created together is something that we will look at for the rest of time. And is something that is sketched in football history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest moments to ever witness in NFL history, and has truly made football what we know it to be today, those two. So here's Tom Brady speaking on Bill Belichick and what he meant to him.
I had a great relationship with Coach Belichick. I think he wanted a quarterback to show up every day and put the team first, and I wanted a coach that showed up every day and put the team first. And we found an amazing working relationship together, and I think he was the best coach I could ever ask for. We had our challenges at different moments, but they were just moments. They don't define what the relationship was. And in the end, we accomplished things that no one had ever accomplished in NFL history.
So there you have it. Bill Belichick parting ways with the New England Patriots. Another huge piece of news that came out last night, actually right after the show was finished filming, is that legendary, the best to ever do it in college football, Nick Saban has announced his retirement after 7 national championships. Nick Saban has announced his retirement, who spent the last 17 years of his coaching career in Tuscaloosa, in Alabama, and won 6 national titles during that time. Nick Saban's calling it a career. The 72-year-old has achieved greatness. The Bill Belichick of all of college football. In fact, you can't even compare Belichick and Saban. They are two completely different history makers, and is one of the greatest coaches of all time, simply put, if not the greatest that there is out there in the college football world. The things that he accomplished in total, compiling a career college record of 292, 71, and 1. It was truly, truly incredible. Now, assuming that Saban does not come back and doesn't change his mind and doesn't unretire, he's going to finish at number 5 on the all-times win list. No doubt about it. Saban's success at Alabama and LSU gives him an incredible case to be considered the best college football coach ever. There's truly, honestly, no debate. There's some candidates in there, but there is no debate in my mind. He immediately turned the struggling Alabama program into the behemoth and monster that it is today. He has cemented the Tide at the top of the college football landscape. It is the school to beat. It is the school to go against, and it was Nick Saban. After a 7-6 season in 2007, let me remind you, Alabama won 12 games in Saban's second season, and he did not look back from there. In 2009, they won their first national title since 1992, and then went on to win 2 more titles after the 2011 and 2012 seasons before the implementation of the college football playoff. And then, it didn't end there. Alabama won the second college football playoff at the end of the 2015 season and then won the national title again in 2017 and 2020. The title game in January 2018 featured probably one of the greatest endings in college football history, if not the greatest, when Tua Tagovailoa hit Devontae Smith for a title-winning touchdown in overtime against Georgia. Now both of those guys are dogs in the NFL, both created by Nick Saban, both developed under Nick Saban, and both successful under Nick Saban. Those weren't the only two. So many other players under Nick Saban have become what they are today because of that man and because of the coaching he offered. 3 seasons after that historic play, the Tide went undefeated and beat Ohio State for what turned out to be Saban's last national title. Alabama lost 3 or more games in a season just twice. Let me say that again. They lost 3 or more games in a season only twice in Saban's tenure and went to the playoffs 7 times in 10 years. It's a run of success that we have never seen before in modern college football. The 3 years from Alabama's last national title in 2020 to Saban's retirement yesterday were the longest stretch in his Tuscaloosa tenure without a national championship. Now, of course, we know the Alabama 2023 team this past season hardly looked like the teams that we have seen national title contenders early in the season. They lost to Texas in week 2. They struggled the next week against South Florida as quarterback Jalen Milroe was benched for the week by Nick Saban. But Milroe did get his starting job back the next week, and Alabama was able to reel off 9 straight wins to end the season, including a very improbable victory over Auburn after the incredible 4th down touchdown pass from Milroe to Isaiah Bond. Now, of course, a week after the Auburn win, Alabama took down number 1 Georgia, a huge matchup, a huge game to create college football playoff chaos this year and earn a shot at the national title. The win ended Georgia's chances of becoming the first team to win back-to-back-to-back national titles since Minnesota in the 1930s, and it got Alabama into the playoff. Nick Saban opened his press conference saying how proud he was of how the team had improved over the season between his time at LSU and Alabama. Saban won 7 national champions. That's the most of any coach in college football history, and although the season did not end the way they would have liked, losing to Michigan with a chance to head to the College Football Playoff National Championship. There's no doubt that what Saban continues to do, taking teams that have flaws, taking teams and players that need improvements, and being able to do that over the course of a season, a long season, but a tough, stressful season with a lot of adversity in the way. It just says how incredible he is. And anyone who says anything differently is just not watching the game the way the rest of us watch the game. Because Nick Saban has done something that we have not seen in forever and will probably never see again. Not counting out the future of college football, but college football will look different in the future now that Nick Saban is stepping away. We're going to look at Alabama now as still the Alabama Crimson Tide that is the monster that it still is. And that is because of Nick Saban, but it's going to look very different without having him as head coach. And whoever steps in has massive shoes to fill and will never top what has been created there in the past seasons. I am a fan not only of Saban, but of his beliefs as a coach. Now, I have never played college football. I've never played football. I've never claimed to be of that caliber whatsoever. But I have played sports before, and I know the importance of a coach that has the mentality that you want to buy into. And Saban always stressed the importance of the process through his coaching tenure. He wanted his coaches and players to focus all they could on the things that they could control. We talked about it yesterday with Andy Reid and Mike McDaniel before this massive Wildcard weekend matchup. Controlling what you can control and working toward the goal without worrying about the end result. It was a phrase he used a lot, along with rat poison, that he used for media and public discussion about his team, and he used throughout his entire career. And while the process got unprecedented results, It was a process that did a ton of adapting over the course of Saban's time in Alabama, and a process that the players bought into, and even without Saban there, a process that will continue to live on within the Crimson Tide, even after he's gone. And the run of success under Saban has started with a dominant defense and offense that was run heavy, did enough to get the job done, and over time, the formula changed to produce championship-level success. Over time, college football changed. Over time, talent changed, and the process changed, and Saban adapted. And that was the incredible thing about him. And any coach in any league, in any sport, you want your players to buy in to your vision. You want your players to buy into the so-called process that you run. And the way Saban was able to connect with his players assertively, but also supportively, knowing them as men, knowing them as students, knowing them as what they're going to look like in their future was just incredible to witness as a college football fan. And also with Saban's influences on other coaches now that we see around the NFL and college football, one to note, current college head coach Kirby Smart grew up under Saban's process, and he was able to grow this success with an amazing crew of assistant coaches that was always changing, always adapting to what the team needed. But Kirby Smart, a legend in himself over there at Georgia, a true legend that gives probably all his praise to Nick Saban at this point in time, because Nick Saban really taught him how to become the coach that he is today. And that matchup between Saban and Kirby to make it to where they were this season, to knock down number one Georgia, had to have been an incredible full circle moment for these two coaches who started off together, end together. It's incredible. And Brian Daboll as well, New York Giants coach who we spoke about yesterday, served as a coordinator under Saban during his time in Alabama. Coaches that we will know forever. Coaches we will speak about for the times to come. All developed under Nick Saban. And that in itself says how incredible he truly is. Now, Saban hasn't made an official statement, it does not seem, regarding his retirement. It was announced, but there was not an official statement or press conference or anything like that from what I can find. So, with all that, that's really going to wrap up our Nick Saban talk for the day, because there is a lot of football still to hit upon and some more news. But to do it justice of who Nick Saban was, I found this clip on YouTube from Alabama's own YouTube channel, from AL.com, of the best Nick Saban moments in his time as the head coach. So I'm going to play it for you. These are some incredible moments, even better moments to look back at his lectures post-game, his speeches, his press conferences post-game. We just don't have enough time for that in today's show, unfortunately. But here are some of the best moments of Nick Saban.
Everybody else in the media does, just create some shit and throw it on the wall and see what sticks, which is what I see happening everywhere. Why don't you start calling around and see if you can get somebody else to play us, and we'll play them. We'll play anybody you can get to play us. You know, all that stuff you write about how good we are and all that stuff they hear on ESPN, it's like poison. You know what I mean? It's like taking poison, like rat poison. So we're going to play everybody who can expedite winning the game. That's what we're going to do. So I don't think anybody should expect us to do anything else. Do you guys take math? Do you have math class?
Not anymore.
Did you learn how to add when you did have math class? Like 22 and 3 make 25? I mean, if I could tell you why you asked that question, I wouldn't be up here. Right? I mean, so how do I know why we didn't practice good on Wednesday? Now y'all scared to ask another question? When I came here, everybody was happy to win a game. All right, now we're not happy to win a game anymore. We're not happy to win a game at all. All right, we think we should win games by whatever. Because one of you folks are going to give some player that comes to our school a bunch of money to come to our school. And then you're going to come to the game in full strut, thinking, I'm going to tell everybody I got that guy to come to Alabama. And they run through our ass like shit through a tin horn, man, and we could not stop them. Because if it was up to you, we're 6 foot under already. We're dead and buried and gone. You guys gave us a lot of really positive rat poison. The rat poison that you usually give us is usually fatal. But the rat poison that you put out there this week was yummy. Everybody gets all excited about the beginning of the season. You get excited about getting married, all right? But after you're married for a while, you got to have a process to make it work, all right? And no matter what happens, we need to have a process to make it work in every game that we play. You just think we just, whatever happens, we just shit another player, all right? And everything's going to be perfect. All of our fans think that. You all think that. That's what you write about. Because we have a tendency to think that way around here, instead of just kicking people's ass like you're supposed to and working to do it. All right, so when you ask me those kind of questions, it really pisses me off. I know you would like to some kind of way extract something out of this bottle, all right, that's not there. It's not there. You all speculate and create things, and then you want people to respond to it. Get this bottle to respond to it, because I don't know anything more than that. Can't assume anything. I don't even know what you asked me, but I just wanted to say that.
And any particularly nice birthday presents today?
Not really. I only got really one, and it was one of those things where you push the button and it says that's bullshit. That's the only one I got. So I don't know if somebody's trying to tell me something or what.
Thanks, Coach.
So I'm going to ask you all something because I'm really interested in this. You ask me questions all the time. So we had a media training session yesterday. How'd I do? Did I do better because I sat through media training? So I'm supposed to smile and say thank you.
No, thank you, Nick Saban, for being the absolute legend that you are and that you will continue to be even outside of the world of college football. Maybe we'll see him as on one of those college football game day shows. Maybe we'll see him in the media. Maybe, whatever future endeavors he decides to take on. I know they'll be extraordinary because that's the type of guy that he is and that's the type of guy that he creates in all these football players from Alabama that have gone on to have incredible NFL careers. So with all that, thank you, Bill Belichick. Thank you, Nick Saban, for the incredible impacts that you've made on both the NFL and college football. We'll take a quick break, quick timeout. This is the Gabby Gordon Show. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Gabby Gordon Show. My name is Gabby Gordon, and we only have one more show before Super Wildcard Weekend. Saturday and Sunday teams battling it out for a winner-takes-all, and this is going to be an incredible one here. I'm going to give my picks to end the show today, and look, I've been wrong about a lot of things regarding Bill Belichick's retirement. Nick Saban's was we saw it coming. Pete Carroll surprised me, and I don't know what's going to happen there, but I've been wrong about a lot of things this NFL season. My picks have not been one of them. I pride myself in making picks and giving the reason behind them, especially because sometimes people have money riding on it. Do not use me as your clutch for sports betting this weekend. Please, whatever you do, I don't want that responsibility, and I'm going to say right now I should not be held responsible for any money lost based on my picks. But nonetheless, I'm going to give them to you. You give them to me. A little bit of social media interaction with you guys. Love to talk with you all. And we're going to get to it. The first matchup of Super Wildcard Weekend, Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Cleveland Browns will travel to NRG Stadium to face off against the Houston Texans. Again, NRG Stadium in Houston. Look, CJ Stroud is a young stud in his rookie year. 1-for-1 now, making the playoffs. This is a huge game for both teams. Joe Flacco back in the NFL just a couple weeks ago. He was sitting on his couch. If you told him he was going to be leading this team to a playoff push under Kevin Stefanski, who may very well win head coach of the year, he would tell you were crazy. But nonetheless, that is the matchup we have this weekend to kick off the wildcard weekend, folks. And these two teams have their respective talents. Incredible players with grit and determination. Two great coaches who have been pushing their way. The Houston Texans have developed C.J. Stroud in the best way possible. the best way possible. It is incredible to have watched his rookie year. He didn't play every single game and had some ups and downs, but he has come through when it mattered and came through in Lucas Oil Stadium this past weekend against the Colts. So with that, I have to take Houston on their home turf in NRG Stadium with the crowd going crazy and a rookie quarterback with a lot to prove still and a lot of confidence now heading in to his first playoff game. This is painful, okay? This is painful for me to bet against Joe Flacco because he seems to have had some special spirit come back into his heart and into his arm by the football gods, wherever they may be, to get him to the point that he is, at the age that he is, to be producing the way that he is, seemingly out of nowhere this season. Joe Flacco just pops up again. And it's been so much fun to watch and insane to watch for him to have just stepped in here in Cleveland and be able to do what he's done and lead them to this game in general. And Cleveland's a talented team, so it hurts me to bet against the Browns and Joe Flacco. But this Texans team right now is on one of the most special runs we've seen in a while, a special trajectory for this team. And I'm going to assume that Amari Cooper's not going to have a billion yards like he did in the regular season win over the Texans for the Browns. So whatever that may be, I think the Texans defense is going to be able to do some special things, and I think CJ Stroud is going to continue to do some special things. He may struggle. It is his first playoff game. He is a rookie, and this is a new territory for him and a new type of environment, playoff environment that he has not yet faced outside of college. But with all of that in mind, he is on a great run. The team is on a hot streak. So I'm going with the Houston Texans. Lock it in. Moving on to the 8 p.m. game on Saturday night, Eastern Standard Time. That is at Arrowhead Stadium. It is not going to be a pretty environment to play football in. Wind chills below zero, weather temperature in the single digits, and Miami, who has been facing 70s to mid-80s this week, will be traveling to an absolute tundra in itself. Miami Dolphins at Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are currently the favorite to win this game. This is going to be a huge game because not only is Tyreek Hill returning to play against his former team, his former coach, his former quarterback, his former tight end, his former squad in a winner-takes-all matchup. It's going to be a massive game for Tua Tagovailoa in the freezing cold and for Mike McDaniel to prove what they have tried to prove all year is that this team is relevant and this team can win games and this team has grit and power. And as of late, they have not shown that. They have not shown the team that they are supposed to be. They have shown the team that has fallen short when it mattered most. And to be in this position now, there is a lot riding on this. But in the same light, the Kansas City Chiefs have not been perfect this year. They've been anything but perfect, and they have faced their fair share of injuries. The Miami Dolphins have been plagued with injuries, which is really, it's played a part in their recent non-success, but it's not the entire reason. There's obviously been some other issues going on as well. Kansas City has a lot to prove. They've proven so much. There's been questions about the next dynasty of the NFL. Could Kansas City accomplish that under another legendary head coach, Andy Reid, who is still pushing through? Legendary playmakers, Patrick Mahomes in himself, one of the best to play the game. Travis Kelce, one of the best tight ends we've ever seen in the game. But they have not connected this season consistently. We've seen certain situations. We've seen them in the media over and over again with Taylor Swift. I'm sure she'll be at this game rooting on her boyfriend, who needs to have a massive playoff game as well. He did not play last weekend. Patrick Mahomes did not play last weekend, sat their starters. But this is a huge matchup for both teams. Huge matchup for both teams. And obviously, the Chiefs at home in these weather conditions are the favorite. With all that, I will be choosing the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game. But I want to make this very clear. I would love to see Miami step into Arrowhead in a playoff game where it is -5, wind chills are even worse, and come in there and knock Patrick Mahomes on his butt. I have nothing against Mahomes. I have nothing against the Chiefs. I love Travis Kelce and all the things that he has done for football, and I love Andy Reid even more. But what a story it would be to talk about on Monday if Miami can come in there and get the job done after a really rough finish to their regular season. To come in there and get the job done would be a beautiful thing, and that is why I am picking Kansas City. However, I want Miami to win this game. Then we head over to Sunday. Sunday's game here, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Los Angeles Rams will travel to Ford Field in Detroit to face off against the hot Detroit Lions. This has to be the biggest matchup of the weekend, and this is going to be the enemy, Matt Stafford, traveling back to his hometown, his home field, to try and get it done. And this is going to be another wonderful matchup. I keep hearing the Rams are dangerous, and I do very well agree with this one. Matt Stafford gives them a chance to make a huge run. He's already won a Super Bowl with this team. Jared Goff's kind of just been sitting there waiting for his moment, and this is his moment. Dan Campbell has done incredible things with this franchise to take them from a place of complete irrelevance and the laughingstock of the NFL to a place where the Lions are a feared team with the amount of talent that they have. So I am rocking this weekend with the Honolulu Blue, and I will be picking the Detroit Lions to beat the Los Angeles Rams, even out this trade rivalry between Stafford and Goff. Stafford's gotten his moment. It is now Jared Goff's moment. And for all these young studs, look, Puka Nacua has been an incredible light and a rookie and has done incredible things making history this year. And I don't discount any of that. But you know what? When you've got the talent that the Lions roster has, between Jared Goff having a great season, Jahmyr Gibbs, you've got Aiden Hutchinson, you've got the legendary coach that he's becoming, Dan Campbell, who has the energy to take these guys to where they want to go. And the absolute storyline of the year would be that the Detroit Lions can go all the way. Why not Detroit? Why not Detroit? That is why I am picking the Lions to get this thing done, push their way into the divisional round against the Rams on Sunday night. And last but certainly not least, another big game. Monday, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPN, Philadelphia will be traveling to Tampa Bay in a battle between the Eagles and the Buccaneers at Raymond James Stadium. We're going to close with the Monday Nighter. I just watched the Cardinals and Giants beat this Philly team who have truly, truly fallen apart and unraveled at the seams in the final turn of the season. And I have said time and time again on this show, prior to their next matchup, that they had to turn it around. And that this was the matchup, that they were going to turn it around. I said that with the Cardinals, and I said that with the Giants. And both situations, Philly has fallen short. And it seems almost as though their team has given up on what could have been an incredible playoff push. They came into this season as true Super Bowl favorites for many. The talent they have in Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, you name it, is something that could have propelled them to go all the way, but there is truly no chance that they go all the way after what I have seen from them in the last few games of this season. When it still mattered, it looks like they dug their feet in the sand and just let the entire league take them by storm. And so with all that being said, the Philadelphia Eagles will be first-round exits in the playoffs, going from one of the best teams in the league to a no talking point because they are no longer in it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, led by Baker Mayfield, will come in and stomp on the Philadelphia Eagles in their home stadium, Raymond James Stadium. Lock it in. This is going to be incredible. Truly, truly incredible. So the final amount of my picks, we're going with Houston. We're going with KC, although I would love to see Miami win, but we have to be realistic here. Kansas City is the better team, and as of late has been the better team. Going with Detroit, and Matt Stafford coming in as the enemy will fall short against Jared Goff, Dan Campbell, and the rest of their studs, and Tampa Bay will knock Philly down. Those are my super wildcard weekend picks. I want to hear yours. Let me know. Comment on this video if you're watching on YouTube, or send a message in through Twitter, wherever you get your podcasts, whatever you want to do. I really want to hear what you guys think about these matchups. There's not one matchup on this list that I look at and say I am not looking forward to it, and that is the true joy of Super Wildcard Weekend. It is the true joy of the moment we are in football right now in the NFL. It has been an incredible week of sports. We've still got one more show tomorrow, same time, same place. Do want to make an announcement. There will be no show on Monday. I mentioned it that we were going to talk about these matchups. There will be no show on Monday. I am moving back into college, and we'll continue to do the show picking up on next Tuesday. But no show Monday. It's going to be a very busy day. And we'll let these games defrost a little bit, whatever their outcome is come Monday, touch upon them Tuesday, and hopefully have some more NFL coaching news potentially throughout next week. But we still have tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, same place, same everything. Do not forget, this is one of the greatest moments. It's #glasshalffull year. And that is what we will be riding with throughout the remainder of the NFL season, because Air Day is a great day to talk some sports. You've been listening to The Gabby Gordon Show. My name is Gabby Gordon. So honored to have you joining me and finishing out today's episode. Thursday, January 11th, 2024. Historic moment in history. Bill Belichick stepping down from the New England Patriots. Nick Saban stepping down from his career in college football, and some incredible football matchups to look out for this weekend. I will catch you tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time.